I cover what's new, what was fixed, and the mod impact in the January 31st game update. Hello, my name is Jennifer, and welcome to my news video. The Sims tweeted, a base game update is here with new content including medical wearables, binders, shapewear, a light switch, and more, including bug fixes and console gameplay improvements. Read more about today's update in the latest patch notes, and they also show some of the new things in the screenshot that they included with the tweet. We did not get the infant update, but we did get the date of the infant update in the Behind the Sims video or stream that they did earlier today, and I have a separate video on that, but that date is March 14th in case you're interested. Now moving on to the patch notes. So they start with, following hot on the heels of the last update, we have another one for you, because it really hasn't been that long, 2 weeks. This time they're putting a bit of focus on the console version of The Sims 4, streamlining some key interfaces for easier controller interactions. Now they also say that these updates are a small part of a larger ongoing focus to improve the console experience for all, and they're also looking for thoughts and feedback on playing The Sims 4 on the PlayStation and Xbox, especially with the controller, over on Answers HQ, because they are looking for feedback, which they already have some excellent feedback, and the team is reviewing it. Now, even if you're not on console, that there were new content and fixes for everyone in the update as well. It wasn't just for console. So what was new? They added new stuff with the release, and just keep in mind that it's purely visual and they don't add any gameplay functionality. So nothing that was added adds gameplay functionality. It's all visual. So first off, there was medical wearables, which is a new category under body and face accessories in Create a Sim. You can select the Sim's face and select accessories to find the medical wearables category that contains a new hearing aid for your toddler or older Sims. It comes in 15 color variants and it can be assigned to your Sim's right, left, or both ears. The first one is for both ears, and then the other ones are for the respective ears that they show. The medical wearables category can be found by selecting the Sim's body and selecting the body category, and there you can find glucose monitors for your child and older Sims that can be added to your Sim's right and left arm and to your Sim's lower abdomen on the right or left side as well. So keep in mind that if you're playing with a female child, you actually won't be able to see it if it's on the abdomen when you're putting it on them, because they have a tank top on when you do that. But there are some outfits that it will show it is there. So if you put it on them, it'll show with certain outfits. There's also a top surgery scar under the same body category. All players can find a body scars category with an option for teen and older male Sims. Doesn't matter whether they're masculine or feminine frame to add a top surgery scar to their Sims. And that was one of the ones that they showed in the picture that they included with their tweet. There's also binders and shapewear, which was also shown in that picture. So you can find 2 new assets in Create a Sim. Under the tanks and the tops category, you'll find a binder top asset for teen and older Sims. And in the underwear category for bottoms, there's a new shapewear asset for your Sims as well, and that's for male and female. Now keep in mind that these new things don't show as new, so one of the easiest ways to find them is to filter by base game only, and then you have less things to look for when you're looking for them. Now, let there be light switches. For our builders who have long desired to complete the perfect room, a new light switch is now available in build mode. Now, there was a light switch added with the bathroom clutter kit, and they did say that we're getting one for base game, and here it is. It is called the unswitchable switch, and it is 40 simoleons. Now, moving along to console. So the very first one is just for PlayStation. The rest are for both PlayStation and Xbox. Previously on PlayStation for Sims 4, you had to calibrate your screen settings at a system level, but now you can actually do it under game options other, but you can still do it the old way. Cursor scaling, you can adjust the size of the cursor on both PlayStation and Xbox. You don't have to adjust the whole game UI, so you can have a big cursor and everything else be the same size, so that'll make it easier to see the TV screen across the room. There were some console build mode improvements, and it says jumping into build mode will feel a little different. Okay, well, a lot different. Now the catalog is open by default and stays open as you grab items and interact with the lot. You no longer need to reopen the catalog and re-navigate to the menu you were in every single time. That sounds like it was horrific, because you don't do that on PC, and they do mention that. So your experience is going to be more closely to what we get on PC. Console build mode guidance system. So you got help from Emily in CAS and live mode. Now You can have that in build mode if you're a new player or if you have the guidance system enabled. And there's some controls and navigation updates, which they kept the ability to toggle control methods by tapping the touchpad on PlayStation or view button on Xbox, but they've reduced the amount of times that they switch between the two modes automatically. And then there's some mention about if you have controls legend enabled in game options other, you show a prompt for toggle cursor at the top. So there's a little reminder of which control scheme you're using. So anyway, so those are some changes for console. I'm curious if you're a console player, what you think of them and what impact they've had on you playing with the game. On to the bug fixes. Now, there were a fair number of base game bug fixes, but I have to say a lot of them were to do with scenarios and the guidance system. But the first one isn't. Toddlers were bathing with their slippers. Now that shouldn't be the case. The venue info icon on the top left-hand side of your screen when you were in build mode, it would flash as new. This was more an issue if you were a new install of the game, because I know I built my new computer in December and installed the game on it, and it was flashing all the time. But I had also looked and it said that you could go grab a specific file from your old one if you had it, and I did, and so the flashing went away. But now you don't have to do that, and it should be fixed for everybody. Now, if you created Sims through CAS stories and they had starting funds high, they should get 30k simoleons versus the standard 20k. And when you were switching styled looks in CAS, for some of the styled looks, it was like changing more than just their outfit. That should be fixed. And with the collab hairstyles, the Bantu knots and two-strand twist hairstyles, if you switched the physical frame of your sim while you were using them, a little plumb bob that showed that who it was with would disappear, and that shouldn't be the case anymore. And now there were some changes, like I said, and fixes to scenarios. There were a few there for the parenting predicament scenario, which when I played through that was pretty buggy. So yay for that. I managed to work around it. It wasn't easy, but given it's supposed to be a bit of a welcome scenario, having to figure out workarounds, not ideal. So good that they fixed it. Then there was aliens stole my parents. When you were traveling, sometimes the parents would temporarily come back, and now they shouldn't. Stuck in the shadow scenario, we get stuck, so now it shouldn't do there either. And then there were some issues with Emily that were fixed or were supposed to be fixed, that you can see them on the screen. Then there's some other small miscellaneous ones that are noted there on the screen. So moving on to the fixes for the various packs. So city living, if you're an interior decorator, you couldn't get into the penthouses. Now you should be able to, and their illuminating pillars weren't illuminating. They now should illuminate. Get famous, there was something to do with lessons. There's a couple to do with lessons where it was like long lesson titles. Now that should be fixed. Eco lifestyle, the various fans that are in the game should have a power consumption rating. And with high school years, there was a necklace that was floating when you were zooming the camera. And that should not be happening anymore. Another thing with San Myshuno, but this time with paranormal. If you were visiting San Myshuno, the doors were missing from apartments unless you were in the walls up view, and now you shouldn't have to do that. Bust the dust and dust bunnies will show up after a reload. And there was a couple of mods that fixed that, which are now considered obsolete, so I'd say that those are actually fixed. And then outdoor retreat, there was another issue with lessons and titles, so that should be fixed too. And there was something that wasn't on the update notes that SimGuruNick tweeted about. And it was if you had upgraded to macOS Ventura, you could only exit The Sims 4 by force quitting, and that is marked as fixed even though it wasn't in the update notes. So now moving on to the mod impact. Now, there wasn't actually that many mods that broke with the update. They were disabled as usual, but there were some that did break, and they broke badly from what I can see from what people were showing in screenshots. So the broken mods that are noted at the time that I'm recording this are CC Rents replacement mods, color sliders for hair and clothes, more columns in CAS, more traits in CAS, neighborhood stories viewer. Outdated modes are a couple to do with that dust fix that I mentioned already. And then you can see there, cleared by creator. There's a handful that are on there. Not everybody has cleared, but they're also not on the broken. They just haven't It's just not noted there yet. And just keep in mind that this is also only for mods and CC. That does not raise the game rating because this is on the Sims forums. If you want to see other mods and whatnot, Scarlet has a list, and I will link that down below also. So just to highlight, MC Command Center is clear. Both, it's only saying MC Command Center, but I saw that both the public version and the Patreon pre-release version is cleared by Deaderpool. And Little Miss Sam, her mods, except for the one that was obsolete, and there was one that was updated, which I'll get to next. All the rest are fine. Wonderful Whims, and then Twisted Mexi, Tool, and Better Build By are fine. I have not seen anything about UI cheats one way or the other. Just some other UI ones broke, so I don't know, but I haven't seen it, whether it's fixed or not. So moving down to updated mods and tools that we know of already. So you can see those on the screen, including that one that I said there was one by Little Miss Sam. And also just to highlight that thrift store overhaul, if you do use that, it got updated twice after the update. So you need to make sure you have the most recent version, and they show the number there. I did see that Kawaii Stacy released a new version of Slice of Life, but then I also saw afterwards that while it was released after the update, it was actually prepared before the update. So it is not actually confirmed as working or as broken, as you can see. But if you are using that, get the newer version, but it's still not sure that it'll be working with the update. So let me know what you thought about the game update in a comment down below. I'd really like to know, but that's going to be it for this video. Likes and comments are always appreciated, and they really help with the algorithms. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!